Welcome back to the channel. Today we're counting down 7 Harley Davidson's motorcycles so overpriced they might as well let them rot. And trust me, you won't believe the number 1 pick. Number 7, Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO. Harley Davidson is pushing prices so high in 2025 that even diehard fans are saying enough is enough. $45,000 for a motorcycle? That's not just expensive, it's insane. And the worst part? These bikes are sitting on showroom floors, untouched, collecting dust. Nobody is buying them. But why? The Harley Davidson Road Glide CVO has always been marketed as the ultimate touring machine, built for riders who want the best of everything: performance, comfort, and technology. But in 2025, that comes with a staggering price tag of $45,000. At the heart of the Road Glide CVO is the Milwaukee 8 121 engine, delivering 115 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. It is paired with a 6-speed transmission and an upgraded suspension system for a smoother ride. Sounds great, right? But here's the problem. The standard Road Glide Special costs nearly $20,000 less and still gives you everything you need. Harley packed this bike with a 12.3-inch full-color touchscreen, a Boombox GTS premium audio system, and rider safety enhancements like cornering ABS, traction control, and hill hold assist. While impressive, many Harley enthusiasts do not want all these extras. They want a pure, powerful touring bike without the unnecessary tech overload. The weight is another issue, tipping the scales at over 800 pounds, making it a challenge to handle at low speeds. The CVO exclusive paint and finishes are flashy, but most riders prefer to customize their own bikes instead of paying extra for a factory-done job. And then there is the cost. Few riders can justify dropping $45,000 on a single motorcycle. Even with financing, you are looking at monthly payments close to those of a brand new car. For that price, you could buy a Road Glide Special, fully customize it, and still have money left over. With prices this out of touch with reality, it is no surprise that the Road Glide CVO is struggling to find buyers. These bikes are sitting in dealerships waiting for someone to take the plunge, but most riders are simply looking elsewhere. And if you think this one is bad, wait until you see what Harley is asking for the next bike on our list. It is a model riders wanted back, just not at this price. Number 6, Harley Davidson Breakout 117. Harley brought back a fan favorite, but with a price tag that makes no sense. The Breakout was supposed to be a raw, powerful cruiser, but now it comes with a cost that makes even the most loyal riders walk away. If you thought the Road Glide CVO was overpriced, just wait until you see this one. Harley Davidson made a big deal about the return of the Breakout 117, bringing back a long, low-slung cruiser with aggressive styling and an undeniable road presence. It is powered by the Milwaukee 8 117 engine, packing 102 horsepower and 123 pound-feet of torque, giving it plenty of muscle. At first glance, it is a stunning machine, a stretched, chopper-inspired design, huge rear tire, and chrome finishes that scream attitude. It is the kind of bike that demands attention at a stoplight. But when you see the $24,000 price tag, you have to wonder, who is actually buying this? For that kind of money, you would expect top-tier components and performance upgrades. But instead, you are getting a Softail chassis with a bigger engine and some chrome add-ons. The suspension, still basic, the brakes, standard single-disc setup, and the technology, virtually unchanged from cheaper models. At its core, the Breakout 117 is a flashy cruiser, but it does not offer the features or performance to justify its price. The low-slung stance and stretched rake might look cool, but they also make slow-speed handling feel awkward, especially for riders who prefer a more balanced setup. The wide rear tire, while great for looks, does little to improve ride quality. For comparison, the Lowrider S, which is nearly $4,000 cheaper, has the same engine but better handling, better braking, and a more aggressive riding stance. So why would anyone choose the Breakout? That is the question many riders are asking. And then there is customization. The Breakout is already heavily styled out of the factory, making it less of a blank canvas for riders who love to make their bikes their own. Harley Davidson seems to have taken a bike that was once a favorite among custom builders and turned it into a premium-priced showpiece. it is easy to see why this bike is struggling. At $24,000, the Breakout 117 is more expensive than many baggers and touring models. Riders looking for a stylish softail will likely go for something like the Fat Boy or Street Bob, both of which offer similar performance without the bloated price tag. And if you think this one is overpriced, the next bike on our list takes things to an entirely new level. Number 5. Harley Davidson Livewire One. Harley Davidson's attempt at an all-electric future was bold, but the price they are asking, that is just shocking. Literally, the Livewire One was supposed to be a game changer, but instead, it has become one of the most overpriced motorcycles in Harley's lineup. And trust me, after you hear the price, you will understand exactly why riders are walking away from this one. Harley Davidson made waves when they introduced the Livewire, their first ever fully electric motorcycle. It was supposed to attract a new generation of riders, offering cutting-edge technology, instant torque, and a futuristic design that set it apart from the traditional Harley look. But from the very beginning, there was a problem. Harley did not seem to understand who this bike was actually for. Fast forward to 2025, and the Livewire One is still struggling to find buyers. With a price tag of $22,799, it costs more than some of Harley's best-selling gas-powered models. For that kind of money, riders expect something extraordinary, but instead they are getting a bike with limited range, long charging times, and a lack of real-world practicality. On paper, the Livewire One has impressive specs. The Revelation electric motor delivers 100 horsepower and an insane 100 pound-feet of instant torque, which means this bike is incredibly quick off the line. It can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds, making it one of the fastest Harleys ever built. But that speed comes at a cost. The range is 146 miles in the city and drops significantly when riding on the highway. That means most real-world riders will be constantly searching for a charging station. Unlike a gas-powered Harley that can be refueled in minutes, the Livewire One takes up to 1 hour to reach an 80% charge with a fast charger and several hours with a standard home outlet. Then there is the weight. At 563 pounds, the Livewire One is heavier than most sport bikes, making it feel sluggish at low speeds. While Harley has done a good job balancing the frame, it is still not the most confidence-inspiring ride for those used to traditional gas bikes. One of the biggest hurdles for the Livewire One is that it just does not fit into Harley's core audience. Most Harley Davidson riders are not looking for an all-electric bike. They want the classic rumble of a V-twin, the feel of a powerful gas engine, and the ability to travel long distances without constantly worrying about a battery. Then there is the competition. Other companies like Zero Motorcycles offer electric bikes with similar performance at a much lower price point. And if you are already spending over $22,000, most riders would rather get a fully loaded touring model or a high-performance cruiser, both of which offer more practicality and long-term value. Harley Davidson eventually spun Livewire off into its own sub-brand, hoping to attract younger, tech-savvy riders. But even that has not helped much, because at the end of the day, the price just does not make sense. The result? Dealerships are struggling to move these bikes. Riders are simply not willing to spend this much money on an electric Harley, especially when gas-powered alternatives offer better range, easier maintenance, and a more engaging riding experience. And if you thought this price was ridiculous, wait until you see what Harley is charging for the next bike on our list. Number 4. Harley Davidson Heritage Classic 114. Some bikes are built for nostalgia, but when does nostalgia start costing too much? The Harley Davidson Heritage Classic 114 is supposed to be a throwback to the golden days of American cruising, but with its bloated price tag, it seems like Harley is cashing in on history rather than giving riders a real reason to buy one. And when you hear the price, you will understand why more and more people are saying, "I'll pass." There is no denying that the Heritage Classic 114 is a beautiful motorcycle. It has that old-school Harley look, big fenders, studded leather saddlebags, a tall windscreen, and just the right amount of chrome. It is a cruiser that feels like it belongs on Route 66, effortlessly rolling down endless highways. But the issue is not how the bike looks or even how it rides. The issue is that in 2025, Harley wants you to pay $24,000 for it. At the core of the Heritage Classic is the Milwaukee 8 114 engine, putting out 102 horsepower and 119 pound-feet of torque. It is a solid, reliable motor that provides smooth power delivery and a laid-back cruising experience. The bike also comes with ABS, cruise control, keyless ignition, and a standard windscreen. All great features for touring. It has a low seat height of 26 inches, making it accessible for most riders, and the floorboards provide a comfortable foot position for long rides. But here is where things start to fall apart. For $24,000, you would expect premium suspension, top-tier brakes, and high-end touring features. Instead, the Heritage Classic still runs on the same basic Softail frame with limited suspension adjustability and only a single front disc brake. At this price, riders expect more stopping power, especially on a bike that weighs over 728 pounds. The saddlebags, they are nice, but they are not waterproof and not easily removable like those found on Harley's true touring models. And while the windscreen helps with wind protection, it is basic and not adjustable, meaning you are stuck with it exactly as it comes. For $24,000, there are simply better options. If you're looking for a serious touring bike, why not just step up to a Road King for a bit more money? You get a larger fairing, better storage, and a more refined touring experience. If you prefer the Softail look, why not go for a Softail standard and customize it yourself? That way, you are not paying for overpriced factory accessories you may not even want. And that is where Harley made a mistake with the Heritage Classic. It sits in this awkward space between a Softail cruiser and a full-dress touring bike, but it does not fully commit to either category. Riders looking for a powerful touring bike would rather spend a bit more for a Road Glide or Street Glide, while those wanting a classic-looking cruiser can get something cheaper and modify it to their liking. At the end of the day, Harley is asking too much for too little. The nostalgia is there. The style is there, but the value just is not. And when you are dropping this kind of money, you want more than just good looks. You want a motorcycle that truly delivers in every way. And if you think this price is bad, the next bike on our list is proof that Harley is pushing things even further. Number 3. Harley Davidson CVO Road King. The Road King is one of the most iconic motorcycles Harley Davidson has ever made. It is a true rider's bike. Simple, powerful, and built for long-haul cruising. But in 2025, Harley has decided to slap the CVO badge on it, jack up the price, and turn a classic into an overpriced luxury toy. And when you hear what they are charging for it, you might just lose all hope. The Harley Davidson Road King has always been a favorite among riders who want a pure touring experience without unnecessary distractions. It has no massive fairings, no bloated tech, just a big V-twin engine, comfortable ergonomics, and endless highway potential. But for 2025, Harley has turned the Road King into a high-end CVO model, pushing the price into absolute insanity. If you thought the standard Road King was expensive, get ready. This CVO version will cost you $46,000. Underneath all the premium branding, it is still the same Milwaukee 8 121 engine, pumping out 115 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. It is smooth, powerful, and exactly what you would expect from a high-end Harley. But at this price, it is not just about the engine. Harley justifies the cost with exclusive paint options, upgraded suspension, a high-end Rockford Fosgate sound system, and a digital touchscreen display integrated into the handlebars. It also comes with cornering ABS, traction control, hill hold assist, and adaptive ride height, which are great features. But are they worth an extra $20,000? The problem is simple. You can get a standard Road King for nearly half the price. The base Road King Special costs around $23,000 and gives you the same comfortable riding experience, same frame, and nearly the same power. If you want premium sound, better suspension, or a custom paint job, you can add all of that yourself for a fraction of the cost. And that is exactly what most riders are doing. Instead of paying Harley's inflated price for factory-installed luxury, they are buying the standard model and making their own upgrades, saving thousands in the process. Then there is the question of who this bike is even for. The Road King has always been for riders who love the simplicity of a wind-in-your-face experience. Adding touchscreens, high-end speakers, and flashy paint jobs takes away from the very thing that makes the Road King special. Harley Davidson seems to be betting that riders will pay nearly $50,000 just for the exclusivity of the CVO badge. But in reality, most hardcore Road King fans are sticking with the classic version, and new buyers are not interested in paying this much for a bagger. The result? Dealerships are struggling to move these bikes. Even with financing, $46,000 is absurd for a Road King, and buyers know they have better options. And if you think Harley is out of control with this price tag, just wait until you see what they are charging for the next bike on our list. This one might just be the most disappointing Sportster ever made. Number 2. Harley Davidson Sportster S. The Sportster name is legendary. For decades, it represented an affordable, lightweight, and customizable entry into the Harley Davidson world. But in 2025, Harley has taken that name, stripped it of its identity, and slapped a price tag on it that makes absolutely no sense. This is not just an expensive Sportster, it is a complete departure from what made the Sportster great in the first place. The Harley Davidson Sportster S is meant to be a bold reimagination of the classic Sportster, replacing the old air-cooled Evolution engine with a modern liquid-cooled Revolution Max 1250T engine. On paper, it is an upgrade in every way. It produces 121 horsepower and 94 pound-feet of torque, making it the most powerful Sportster Harley has ever built. But here is the problem. It is not really a Sportster anymore, and with a price tag of $16,999, it is also far too expensive for what it offers. The Revolution Max 1250T engine is undeniably powerful, giving the Sportster S fast acceleration and a responsive throttle. The bike also features inverted front forks, a monoshock rear suspension, and high-performance Brembo brakes, all of which are significant upgrades over previous generations. It comes with a 4-inch round TFT digital display, ride modes, cornering ABS, and traction control, making it one of the most high-tech Harleys ever. That all sounds great, until you remember that the Sportster was never supposed to be a high-tech, high-performance bike. It was supposed to be simple, raw, and affordable. The kind of bike you buy, modify, and make your own. But in 2025, Harley has turned the Sportster into an expensive boutique cruiser that feels more like a Ducati than a traditional Harley. For nearly $17,000, buyers are left wondering, who is this bike actually for? It is too expensive for entry-level riders, the exact audience the Sportster was originally built for. Traditional Harley riders are also turned off by the liquid-cooled engine, modern styling, and lack of customization options. Unlike classic Sportsters, which had decades of aftermarket parts available, the new Sportster S is much harder to modify, limiting the ability to truly make it your own. Then there is the competition. For this price, you could get a Lowrider S, which has a bigger engine, more torque, and the classic Harley sound. Or you could go outside the Harley lineup and get a fully decked out Indian Scout or a Triumph Bonneville Bobber, both of which offer a similar mix of performance and style for thousands less. Harley has priced the Sportster S completely out of its original market. The bike is fast, futuristic, and well-built, but at this price point, it does not appeal to new riders or old-school Harley fans. The result? Harley's attempt to modernize the Sportster has backfired. Instead of being a bike that attracts new customers, it is too expensive for beginners and too far removed from Harley's heritage to win over die-hard fans. And if you think this was a disappointment, the #1 most overpriced Harley of 2025 takes things to a whole new level. Number 1. Harley Davidson CVO Street Glide. We have seen some outrageous prices so far, but this is the peak of Harley Davidson's pricing madness. The Street Glide has always been a beloved touring bike, but in 2025, Harley has decided to push the price to levels that will make your head spin. This is not just overpriced, it is completely out of reach for the average rider. And when you hear how much they are asking, you might just wonder who in their right mind is actually buying this thing. Harley Davidson's Custom Vehicle Operations CVO lineup is supposed to represent the absolute best in factory touring motorcycles. That means top-tier materials, exclusive styling, and high-end technology. But in 2025, the CVO Street Glide is pushing those luxury touches to the extreme, with a price tag of $50,000. Let that sink in. $50,000 for a motorcycle. At that price, you could buy a brand new pickup truck, a high-end sports car, or even 2 standard street glides with money left over. Yet Harley wants you to believe that this bike is worth that kind of money. The Milwaukee 8 121 engine is the most powerful production motor Harley has ever put in a touring bike, pushing 115 horsepower and 139 pound-feet of torque. That is solid performance, but it is only a slight upgrade over the standard Milwaukee 8 engines found in much cheaper models. The suspension is fully adjustable, giving riders a more refined ride, and the high-performance braking system provides extra stopping power. There is also an integrated Rockford Fosgate premium sound system, heated grips, and a massive 12.3-inch full-color touchscreen display loaded with Harley's latest infotainment software. It is packed with high-end features, but the question is, are they worth $50,000? The biggest issue with the CVO Street Glide is that it is not that different from the standard Street Glide Special, which costs around $15,000 less. Both bikes share the same frame, similar riding ergonomics, and nearly identical touring capabilities. The main differences are the premium paint job, upgraded infotainment, and small performance tweaks, none of which justify paying almost the price of 2 bikes for one. Harley is banking on the exclusivity of the CVO badge, hoping that riders will pay for the prestige of owning a top-tier factory bike. But in reality, most riders who can afford $50,000 for a motorcycle would rather buy a base model and customize it themselves. Then there is the resale value. Unlike classic Harleys, which hold their value well, CVO models tend to depreciate faster because their price is based on factory-installed luxury. The second it leaves the showroom, the exclusivity factor drops, and suddenly it is just a used bike, but one that cost $50,000. At the end of the day, the CVO Street Glide is not selling because it is simply too expensive for what it offers. The riders who love the Street Glide are sticking with the standard models, customizing them how they want, and saving thousands of dollars in the process. This is Harley's most overpriced bike of 2025, and unless you are someone with unlimited cash to burn, there is no reason to justify this insane price tag. And that wraps up our list of 7 Harley Davidson motorcycles that are way too expensive for their own good. Do you agree with our list? Which Harley do you think is the most overpriced in 2025? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more real talk about motorcycles, because someone has to say it.